So to start, I do have a piece of wood here that I like to put into my styrofoam ball. That way my hands don't get stuck on my tissue paper and wreck it. Alright. If you don't have Mud Podge, school glue works just as fine. And of course, you can either use a foam brush or an old paintbrush to apply it. I personally like the old paintbrush. Apply some glue onto the styrofoam ball and press in the tissue paper. And it's okay if there's creases on the tissue paper. This just adds texture to your ornament. And then do this process again. Glue and then tissue paper. And it's okay if your tissue paper isn't right next to each other. We'll be covering the whole ornament later on anyway. And then do the same process again. And you do want to make sure that all sides are actually pressed onto the ornament. That way you don't have any lifts later on. So I'm just going to speed through finishing up the red ornament here. I'm applying all the tissue paper, making sure it covers everything. And again, if there is creases, it's no problem. The creases just add texture to your ornament. And everything that you see there that's white is that from the Mud Podge will actually dry over to a nice finished gloss. I do like using the paintbrush just because I can put quite a bit of pressure just so it makes sure that the tissue paper does stick. And we're almost done here. If you'd like, you can do more than one layer of tissue paper, or you can go for another color on top of it. You could do a gradient. You could really do anything you want. If you want, you can skip this process and buy pre-made bows. It makes it a little easier. So to start, you need 10 inches of ribbon and a smaller 2-piece. You want to find your middle point. And then fold in your one side. There's a small dot of the glue gun. Repeat for the other side. And then, of course, your middle, you want to see what part of the ribbon or which side of the ribbon actually looks better. So you get to play around with it a bit. And then, of course, glue your final piece. And if you hear whining or sounds in the background, I apologize. That is the cats and the dogs that refuse to stay in a separate room. There, you have a pretty little bow. I just like to trim the ends, just make sure they're equal. So you can paint whatever you want onto your ornament, or you can use stickers. It's whatever you want. There's quite a few examples at the end. All right, so applying the bow, you'll need the hot glue gun. I like to glue just the bottom part of the bow. That way it kind of stands up. And just hold it there for a while just so it doesn't fall off. Make sure the glue is nice and dry. Of course, you can skip this part if you don't want to. I just like to have the ends of the bow just nice and tucked. And there, an ornament with a cute bow. So this is the final part of the ornament, is the tie. You can use string. I'm using paracord here. You could use yarn, anything really. I put a generous amount of hot glue on top of the ornament. And then press in what I chose for the tie. And you really want to make sure it's in there. I put quite a bit of pressure. And then make sure that it dries before hanging up anywhere.